morning is George Roach, the CEO of Premier African Minerals. George, it's always good to be talking. We said we'd hopefully catch up in about a week's time, and I think it has been exactly a week. So thank you for your time. How are you?
Sure, I'm fine. Thank you very much, Mark. Feeling much, much better, and good to be chatting to you.
Yeah, good. Well, of course, you were running that 5-day program throughout the course of last week. On Friday, you were able to announce to the market some results. So you ran for the 5 days as planned there, without interruptions, as you say. You achieved saleable grades in excess of 5% spodumene. So that is good, I would say, initially, isn't it? Good results.
Absolutely.
Good. You also, I think, noticed, or the RNS mentioned about, also identified other areas that could be fully optimized. Notably, I think in the comminution circuit to the actual, I guess, grind size of the material, and then further, perhaps reagent optimization. So, just talk us through some of the things that perhaps were identified that could help improve.
Sure. So we are going to go in as soon as we can, and we're busy trying to arrange a start time as soon as possible into a further extension on that test. So I think that's very encouraging that we're going to do that as well. But probably the area that needs most attention is on the actual grind size, and getting this grind size predominantly into this 150 micron region that goes all the way back to the original test work from Anzaplan. That's what they said right up front years ago. It's what everything we've done has indicated. Now, the mill has excess capacity, and we need to be careful in terms of the way we go about feeding the mill to achieve this optimum grind size and not to over mill. So one of the issues that we had during that period is that there was too much material in a smaller fraction. And that has a couple of other impacts as well. We've seen, and there is some historic reporting from other operators, that material in this 60 micron size tends to get entrained with contaminants into the froths. So that we need to take care of. And we need to try and increase the particle size closer to the 150 micron and get the majority of it in that size range. We're comfortable that we can with the hydrosizer that we have, with the mill. I mean, the mill is a very, very competent piece of kit that lots of options, similarly with the hydrosizer and similarly with the cyclones that are fitted in terms of making sure that we're sending the right size material in the biggest possible quantum through to the float plant. So that's one area that we will be very focused on, and we're already in conversations in terms of some optimizing that's going to happen there. We've got other OEMs on standby who've indicated they'll help us, and all of that's kind of ready to go. So that's the one. The other is that when we had shut down last year, we were using an additional chemical activator, and that activator had given us some very good results. And one of that activator had done a couple of things we believe. One of them was part suppression of some of the contaminants. The other was the ability to better activate and recover the spodumene itself in isolation of other minerals that may have become entrained and so on. So that needs to be reintroduced and retested as well. And the other, I suppose the final thing is that the more we run this with the assistance of the OEM, the better we're getting at getting constant throughput on the plant, at getting all the components to operate in sync correctly, correct tonnages, correct fresh feed rates, and so on. So speaking personally, I'm quite excited at what we saw. I'm very much looking forward to getting this plant running again. And, I hope that my excitement is not misplaced.
Okay.
But I'm looking forward to seeing the results come out of it. And I
Good.
think that we're a long way down the road. We could have been here a year ago. That's the only sad part of it, I suppose. But at least we're here now.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few things to pick up on. First of all, you're pleased with what you've seen so far? I mean, the video went out, I think, towards the end of last week, and just from my point of view, comparing that to when I was on site, and of course saw the tanks in real time, and it was quite a brownish sort of color. The bubbles were quite big. From the video, it certainly looked a lot whiter, and it looked a lot finer or smaller bubbles. So I'm assuming purely on color, that's much better, but also the bubble size as well. Is that important as well in this? But generally, it's looking an awful lot better than what I saw 2 years ago.
I think that you might be comparing some of what you saw in the mica circuit, where you generally tended to get a much bigger bubble size than in the spodumene side.
Okay.
But your observation is correct on the spodumene side as well. Although when you look at those froths, you can't see the density, how many solids are there. When one feels it in one's hand, you can. But it is indicative of less entrained deleterious material and gang minerals and so on being there. So I mean, it's all just very, very encouraging as we go forward with it.
And at the moment, that as it stands at the moment, that is a saleable product. But you want to get it better or just get it consistent?
I want to do both. I believe that in terms of what we're going to do as we go into the next test, that we'll see less entrainment of any deleterious or other gang minerals that we don't want. Now, simply taking that out pushes up the spodumene contained content already. So if you're sitting and looking at say a 5.8% in the final cleaner in terms of spodumene, if you now go and remove a percentage of other material you don't want, it's likely to push that up well into the 60s, for example. Whereas if it was at 5, it'll increase from there. So I expect to see a decent change there. And as I've just said, that's going to be a combination of getting the milling done more accurately, and I believe also the additional activator, the additional reagent chemical.
Okay, indeed. And on the milling then, I'll go to the reagents in a moment, but on the milling, it's 1/50th you need to get to, I think you said, grind size. So is that definitely achievable with everything you've got? It's not going to be another sticking point that could get in the way?
No,
Okay.
not at all. In fact, historically it was that the mill couldn't mill down enough material to the right size. The mill that we have actually has surplus capacity. So it's a case of managing it and not letting it overmill. That's really what it is.
Okay.
And there are various ways and factors in which we manage that. And I think we've got a very good understanding of that. So it's a hell of a lot easier, as far as we're concerned, to stop overmilling than to suddenly have a mill not competent enough to mill adequately.
Okay. So it's not. Is it something that could have been addressed before you were waiting to do the float section, or is it something that has to be done in sort of tandem?
No, not necessarily. It's that until you run and get consistent running, you don't actually have the ability to collect all the data you need to properly assess and assimilate this.
Okay.
I mean, that's much more that than anything else.
Okay, good. And then the reagent, then it's this other reagent you want to reintroduce. I remember when that came, when you announced that quite a while ago now. So that's part of the reagent thing, is just changing that mix and adding that other bit back in.
No, we're comfortable. I mean, it was used last year, and we were producing decent grades of spodumene then, just not enough.
Okay. So the next stage is to get this next 5-day test run to go. And you said you want to start it, I think, as soon as possible. So, I mean, Yeah, what are we talking here? I mean, is funding a concern again to start another test run? What are you thinking in terms of getting it going?
No, we have adequate at the moment to do that test run, provided we can start it fairly quickly.
Okay.
I'd hope to start it tomorrow. We're not going to make tomorrow. The OEM needs to organise their teams and so on, and get them to site, etc., etc. But we, the moment they say let's go, we'll go.
Okay, right. So it is literally as soon as possible. Okay, so
Literally as soon as possible. Yeah.
You would hope later on this week, maybe.
I would hope later this week. I would say absolute latest would be Monday, but I'm hoping that before the end of this week.
Okay, good. And just another question that I've seen shareholders talk about here is Glencore and their sort of involvement or their commitment, how they're going to fit into the whole thing. At some point, will they sort of make a move? Will you announce something significant? Are they waiting for certain grade or consistency? And then you'll be able to say more about what their intentions are.
Well, if you go back to the letter of intent, the intent of this is that when the plant produces, that Canmax and Glencore will then enter into a discussion and a negotiation between them, with the intention that Glencore should take over the management and or control and or repayment and or whatever there is to do with the prepayment. And on that basis, although I can't confirm definitively exactly what the outcome of a negotiation is going to be, because it's a negotiation that they're going to have. But I think that everybody will be easier if our relationship is a direct one with Glencore. I'd be very happy with that. And I suspect that Canmax would as well.
Okay, and that's when it gets into steady production effectively.
Yeah, look, we're in constant communication with all the parties. They're all fully informed as to where we are, exactly what's happening, et cetera, et cetera. So it isn't that this is kind of distance and nobody knows what's happening at the moment. We're all fully up to date and ready to go with the next step as soon as we can.
Okay, good. And just on that second flotation plant, just a bit of an update on perhaps where that is, how it's on its way.
Well, wouldn't it be delightful if I don't need it?
Is that what we're talking about?
I'm not necessarily saying that is going to be the case, right? But let's. Can you ask the question again later this week, please? And I'll give you an answer.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. I mean, the only thing I can think of: are you committed to it or not? Are you still? Are you not committed to buying
it? We're committed to it. I mean, the civils are in. We're committed to it. But I think it's a case of does it have to be done immediately, like between now and sometime in August, or how? Because we are really encouraged with what we've seen, and if we come out on the right side in the next 5-day test run, I think that it's going to be a very different conversation we're going to have.
All right. Okay, well, I'll have that conversation with you again, maybe in 5, 6, 7 days when that happens. Okay, good. So basically, at the moment, you're looking to start the next 5-day test run as soon as possible. So mining isn't going. You've already got stockpiled, is that right? And you're just going to continue doing the test run?
We've still got sufficient ore on the ROM pad, yes.
Okay, good. Well, thank you, George. Do send videos on the social media. I know shareholders love to see that. Yes. It gets a lot of the chatter going, particularly on seeing the tanks there. It's really interesting that a simple insert, it seems, I'm not saying it's solved all your problems, we don't know yet.
Well, it's a combination of a lot of things. It's not just that, but yes.
Yeah, but it's interesting that an insert, Anyway, that's what it is. But that's a great update. Thank you, George. So we'll speak again hopefully fairly soon.
Mark, I look forward to it. Thanks very much indeed.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.